Hi, my beauties. If you want to see how I did this look, stick around, and it's coming right up. Hi, my beauties. Today I'm going to do another just using one palette, or at least try to anyway. I'm going to use my Beauty Glazed Impressed You. I've already primed and set my eyes, and for anyone who's new, I am in love with the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. Okay, it comes. Okay. It doesn't allow the eyeshadow to crease on me. Stays for hours and hours. That's always a beautiful thing. That is the color that I use to set my eyes with. And then I'm going to go in with this to start with the transition. And then I'm probably going to pull one of these pinks to kind of darken it up a little bit. And I always have my quick change. Doesn't replace cleaning your brushes. You still need to do that periodically because you really don't want to get bacteria and have it affect your eyesight. Once you lose your eyesight, you learn to cherish it a whole lot. Let's see. Bring this in. I can. Actually, I can bring it in a little bit more. Because the closer it is, the better it is. And if you happen to see some stray eyebrow hairs, I am aware of them. Period. Try that again. Periodically, I would go and not pluck it all. Let my eyebrows grow out. Or at least as long as I could. Because it would drive me insane. And then, you know, I can kind of reshape them a little bit. Well, that is what I'm doing now because I was keeping them done up because of filming. But I'm trying to get them as thick as possible, not so overplucked. And it's driving me insane because I got these little stray hairs that aren't as long. I'm really odd when it comes to my eyebrows. I went and had them waxed one time, and it just slide a little bit because it's and the girl trimmed the hairs, and I had like this stubble for eyebrows. I mean, they weren't too short or anything. It's just, you know, they were short, but not too short. And I think these are all shimmers. I don't know how this is going to look. We're going to try. And I was like, I just wanted you to wax. Didn't want you to, you know, oh, that was too shimmery. But for the sake of having these look even, okay. Let me try this. I think this might be a flat. It's a little reddish. Okay, that's not bad. But I swore I would never go and get my eyebrows done again. And I haven't so far. But I am considering it. Because at least now I know what to expect. And to be more assertive. That's my problem. I'm not assertive. I get walked on so easily because I have a hard time saying no. I have a hard time speaking my mind. And it's very rare that I do. My sister, on the other hand, we're complete opposites. She used to work in a dealership, and she worked in warranty, so she was around the mechanics all the time. And they would get a little irritated and, or really mess up. And I've seen her, go after these guys. And they loved her still. I'm like, if I told somebody off like that, they'd hate me. Yet, she cannot call and order a pizza because she gets nervous talking to someone on the phone. Or if she needs to complain about something, she won't do it unless it's in person. Me, I can't do it in person, but on the phone, trust me, I've had to battle many times. Like when my son was younger, I'd gotten up from the table and I had a glass of pop on the table. And the chair was kind of back some. He climbed up on the chair. He was like 2-ish, give or take, and tried to reach for the pop before I knew it. And then bam, he fell. Broke his tooth. Well, it abscessed. We had to have it pulled and all this. Well then, later down the road, he had a molar that went bad, and we had to have it pulled. And, it was just his baby teeth. And, with molars, they will shift. I'm thinking I'm going to go on the bluish side. Anyway, molars will shift horribly. So the dentist told me insurance won't cover a spacer. I'm like, it's going to be years before that tooth comes in because he lost it so much earlier than he should have. So I called the insurance company and they said they only paid for spacers on the front teeth. I'm like, they don't shift so easy. I said that back tooth's going to shift because his tooth is not going to grow in for a couple of years. And we went round and round. And I finally got them to see that it was more cost effective to pay for the spacer now than it would be to pay to get everything fixed from teeth shifting. So I got the spacer. And there's been times that I've lost. Because, like, he has severely flat feet. And I don't mean, he just doesn't have much of an arch. I mean, he has no arch. We went into the podiatrist, and one of their tricks is to get you to stand up on your tiptoes, which forces an arch in there. He went up on his tiptoes, and there was no arch. And then his foot, instead of having that nice slope from the ankle to the top of the foot, it is literally like this. There's no slope. And the insurance would only pay for foot inserts to correct all of that if he was diabetic, which he wasn't. And I'm like, I just didn't have the money because, kids go through shoes constantly. And each time I would have had to pay, I think it was around like $300 each foot. Each time he had to change shoes. I'm like, I just didn't have it. And, it doesn't bother him. At least not now. He's currently, he'll be 24 on Halloween. So it really doesn't cause him any problems at the moment. I know when he gets to be like my age, he's probably going to have problems. But there wasn't a whole lot I could do. But that kind of thing, my sister is no good at. Yet, you do her wrong, or me for that instance, because I'll get confrontational if somebody's dogging on my sister. Because we'll fight to the death for each other. And, she's very protective of me. She is older by about 4.5 years. And one time we were living in Indiana, and we lived about 10 miles out of town, if you could call it town. It was very small. It had a truck stop, a bar, a pizza shop, a laundromat. Let's see. That's pretty much it. And that was town. And we lived 10 miles from that. Try being 13. Living in, that kind of area. We had a party line. And for those of you that are too young to even know what that is, because I barely, they were phased out when I was a baby. But instead of paying for your own line, you shared a line with like 4 of your neighbors. Well, being in a rural farm town, that was your only option. And so for entertainment, sometimes I would pick up the phone and listen to people. My mom would get on me. She's like, that's none of your business, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I have nothing better to do. We live out in cornfields. But anyway, going back to what I was saying. We lived 10 miles out. We were coming home from school, And this kid, he wasn't like a whole lot older than me, but he was older than me. He was like between me and my sister's age. But he was tall. Very, very, very tall. And he was picking on me really bad. My sister chased him off the bus, and who knows how he got home. Poor kid. But that's how we are with each other. And as much as we will fight like that for each other, there are times that we fight like that with each other, that you never get involved. Because we'll drop what we're doing between each other to defend. My husband learned that early on when I was pregnant with my son. Me and my sister were, I don't even remember what we were arguing about, but we were on the phone. And it was going back and forth. And he took the phone and he was like, "You're making her too upset. She's pregnant. She doesn't need this." And slammed the phone down. Bad move. I turned on him. And I was like, "Don't you ever get involved between us again." And when we lived in Nashville, a few things changed with my job, and because we lived in a really nice area, and I had a choice. I could go to an area that wasn't all that great. I mean, there was really nothing, it wasn't like horrible. It just wasn't all that great. Or go back to Florida, live with my sister for a while, save up money, and so forth. Oh, I got the bright idea to go ahead and live with my sister. Yeah, that went well. Whenever she and I would get into it, her kids, her husband, my kids, and my husband, gone. It was like you flipped a light on and the roaches just scattered. It was like suddenly everybody was like in hiding. Because it gets that passionate sometimes. But it doesn't last long. Because we do truly love one another, and sometimes it involves apologies. Sometimes it's just, it happened and now we're cool. Now that I have because my whole thing is blend, blend, blend. Not crazy about this particular blue, but I'm going to go ahead and stop this here so that we don't go too long. I'm going to do that to that eye so that they match. Be right back. Okay. I am close enough, I think. Instead of coming in and deepening the outer V with like a black or something of that nature, because of the blue and then a little bit of pink, I'm going to come in with the purple. And I'm not going to come as far, because the point is to give it a little depth. Oh, and I do have like a little bit of a rant. Amazon will not let you review a product that you bought unless you've spent $50 in the past year. I think that's stupid and asinine. I had a company reach out to me that I've worked with in the past to do an unboxing and review of a sound bar. And, you know, as much as I would love to start doing this for makeup, so far I'm not getting those. I'm getting like electronics and decor, and I actually got a leash that I'm going to be doing, not a leash, a collar. My boy's going to be so handsome. My husband put the collar on him because I got it yesterday, I think, and he put the collar on him, and he associates that with going for a walk. So the poor boy kept going to the gate, coming back to my husband, going back to the gate, back and forth, but it was too close to the time that my husband had to go to work, so he wasn't able to take him out. He's like, I'll take him for a real long walk on Sunday when he's off. Okay. Sure, that's good and blended. But anyway, back to my rant. So, one of the things that they want me to do is do a review on Amazon. Because apparently that's the go-to for everything. And so, place an order so that I can hit that mark, and I actually exceeded it by a bit because of a prior purchase. And it still wasn't letting me review. So, I did what any logical person would do. I called Amazon. And the girl had no clue. And she's like, well, I can email this department and have them get back to you. I was like, that's fine. You do what you gotta do. I'm gonna speak to a supervisor. Because again, I have no fear when it comes to being on the phone. And so she gets supervisor. You know, she tried the whole, well, they're just going to tell you what I'm telling you. Well, that's fine and dandy, but supervisors get paid the money to be yelled at. And so I get the supervisor. She has no clue. She tells me the same thing, which I kind of expected at first. And then I'm going with this pink that's light and shimmery. And I think I want that to show up a little bit more. So let me get my glue. So, you know, they're telling me it could take 2 days to get a response. And I was like, normally that wouldn't be a problem, but I'm only placing this order so that, I mean, it was stuff that I could use, but still. I was like, I'm only really placing this order so that I can do the review. I said, otherwise I don't want to place the order because, quite honestly, there's other stuff that I would do better to spend the money on. So, she can't tell me so. I'm like, okay, we need to just cancel altogether. Well, there's a couple items that refused to cancel. And I finally got an email explaining why I couldn't do the review yet, even though I spent the right amount. And turns out you gotta wait for the items to ship and fully process, which kind of makes sense. But you would think they would make sure that the customer service, or at least the supervisors, know. And I even told the supervisor, I'm like, what's the point of having a supervisor if you can't answer my questions? She didn't have an answer for that either. And, you know, I know that was really snarky, but she wasn't listening to me. She kept giving me canned responses. That irritates me more than anything. Don't give me a canned response. Okay. One more thing. Now, the one that I set my eyes with will come in. And I always go a little overboard because I use that to help blend. It's not really wanting to go overboard though. But I imagine that she had a few words to say once she got off the phone with me. That's okay, because I had a few words too. This is gonna split. Alright. I'm gonna clean up under my eyes really quick and be right back. Hey, I'm back and I'm blurry. I'm not sure what I did. Okay, there we go. That was odd. So I got everything done. Let me bring you in so you can see. All I did for under the eye was I put the blue and then I did the purple like I did on the upper lid. I still have the giveaway. Tell your friends. I need 3 more people. So we are like that close. I even have all my names written down. So as you can see, and I'm going to have 2 winners. Well, I only have 1 name on this one. I'm going to cut these into strips and do a drawing. So I'm going to have 2 winners. There's the initial big prize that I had. And then I had decided once I started this to do a second prize. It won't be as big, but it's still going to have a lot of stuff. I'm just waiting for it to all come in. So I will leave the link for that down below. If you have any suggestions or anything, by all means, leave them in the comments. Just keep things positive. That's all I ask. If you like what you saw, ring the bell, punch the thumbs up, and leave me a comment. Till then, goodbye, my beauties.